Welcome into the Browns Report, everybody. We are live on this Wednesday afternoon. Lots of Cleveland Browns rumors to get into. And Ken G's already starting us off big time. Let's go, Ken G. $20 super chat off the bat. Thank you so much, Ken G. We appreciate you so much here on the Browns Report. Look at everybody in the chat. William Atwell saying, Joey. Michael saying, yo. I see Ninja Cow. Ken G with the sup chat. And the crown next to his name because he's a legend. Folks, we have so many Cleveland Browns news and rumors to get into, specifically quarterback-related. Shedeur Sanders, Dillon Gabriel, Deshaun Watson. Browns fans are talking about after the Joe Flacco trade. But Ken G with the $20 super chat. Ken G in the chat. Appreciate you so much. Ken for the 20 bound. Let's go. He said, so much fun in London. Here's what I saw. Judkins is a beast. Correct. Carson is a Tasmanian devil. Myles Garrett is really fast. That's correct. Gotta tell you, Stefanski's probably an emoji or something that should be showing up there. Fine. He hasn't had a real quarterback in 3 years. Let it gel. Ken G with the 20 bomb. Thank you so much, Ken, getting this party started on a Wednesday. Here's what I think about this. Ken G, some great analysis from you here. Judkins is an absolute beast. I mean, we were hyped to have him be the workhorse RB1 running back. I knew that would be the case for Cleveland. It's super clear that it is. He went over 100 yards. He had over 20 carries. Absolute beast. Hard to tackle. Yards after contact is so impressive for the rookie. And he just plays with that energy, that balance, that fire. He's got everything you want in a running back. Carson is everywhere on the field for the defense. I mean, he blasted Carson Wentz. Whoever has the ball, he just beeline straight to the football. That's Carson Schlesinger for you. The Stefanski take. Now, a lot of Browns fans are really upset about Kevin Stefanski. I'm seeing more Browns fans saying to fire him now than I have ever. And I think you can argue this both ways, where we are going to talk about this on today's live show. Should Kevin Stefanski be fired or not? I think you could look at it both ways. And I'm starting to think this might be an owner issue in Cleveland with Jimmy Haslam. Barry and Stefanski got here, 2020? And, yeah, Stefanski deserves blame for the loss against the Vikings. Some of the play calling was very conservative, very questionable. But also, it seems like the ownership and the front office and the coach, no one's on the same page. A lot of turmoil right now in that Cleveland Browns leadership. So, Stefanski definitely deserves blame. But, would firing him really solve all the Cleveland Browns issues? That's for you guys to decide. I think if that were to be a possibility, it'd be much later in the year or next year if we have 2 back-to-back bad seasons. That's what I think about it. But awesome. $20 super chat from Ken G. We appreciate you so much here for tuning in and donating. We really do appreciate all you guys with the super chats, man. Who you got in week 6? If you think the Browns are going to beat Pittsburgh, I want to see CLE in the chat. Type CLE. If you think the Steelers are going to win, you can type Pitt. You can type PIT. If that's your honest opinion, you can. But I want to see some CLEs in the chat if you got the Cleveland Browns winning this football game. What a massive game it is. The AFC North wide open, ladies and gentlemen. Who you got in this one? James Potts is going with the Browns. Alyssa Smith going with Cleveland. 100 Blocks got Cleveland. Dana Douglas has got Cleveland. Michaela Tucker's got Cleveland. Ninja Cow's got Cleveland. Look at all the Browns coming in. Hunter says it's definitely the ownership. Robert Hawk got Cleveland. Hunter Smith's got Cleveland. Bang with Smoke says Cleveland. Woof, woof. 100 Blocks got Go Browns. I love it. I love it. Morley Mitchell says Cleveland. I'm giving shout-outs. Ken G says Cleveland. Make your picks in the chat. 100 people on the stream right now. 22 likes on it. And that $20 super chat from Ken G. What a way to start this off. Sub-Zero's got Cleveland. Lenora's got Cleveland. Miami Max says Yankees. They're playing tonight as well. Believeland, says Brandon. Love it. I love it. I love it, folks. You imagine if Cleveland wins this football game. They're only a game back of first, and they just beat the team in first. The talk's going to change about the Cleveland Browns in the AFC North when Cleveland wins this game. And right now, with how bad the Bengals and Ravens look, the current state of things, you could argue Cleveland's the second best team in the AFC North right now at the current moment. Things will change when Lamar Jackson gets back. I get that when Burrow gets back, but Burrow's not back till late December. He's got months. So right now it's wide open. Make the push, Browns. What a big win this would be. What a big win. Barry said he hates the Steelers, but he's done believing in this team. Barry, I feel your pain, man. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to keep the faith. The Browns just seem to do so many questionable things. But they should be 3-2. There's no way you look at that Bengals game and think that they should have lost it. Every single thing that they could have done wrong to lose it, they did. That was a surefire win. The Vikings game was in our hands as well. And yet still, there's a chance. It's early. It's early. We've been in 5 weeks in. 5 weeks. Rose, if we go for a new coach, who should we look at hiring? You know what, Rose? I might have to make a video on this. A little bit of replacement options for Kevin Stefanski. Because there's some names out there. I saw someone on Twitter say, how about Bill Belichick going back to the Browns? Like, that's not going to happen, probably. But it's in the realm of possibility. It's not doing good with North Carolina right now. John Gruden, too. That guy loves football. I wouldn't mind him coming to Cleveland. Kyla Tucker, I never give up hope. This is Believe Land. That's what we call it, folks. That's what we call it. Adam says Shedeur coming soon. He should be. He absolutely should be. If you guys have questions that you want me to answer on today's show or some takes that you want to get out there to the people, super chat, just like Ken G did, with your take or your question, so that everyone in the world can see what you want them to see about the Cleveland Browns right now. Super chat will automatically put your take up on screen, and we'll put you in our YouTube video that we're going to film towards the end of this live stream, a Q&A type of video with all your questions. You can super chat, skip the line, be right a part of it. Also, drop some questions with the hashtag Browns in this chat right now, and we'll go ahead, pick some of them, but we can guarantee we get you in the video with a super chat. And the hashtag Browns has been a little bit spotty, so we're going to try our best with the technical difficulties to make sure we can get those. But if those aren't working, then we're just going to only have to use the super chat ones. So I would say that's the best bet to make sure you get your question and take heard, everybody. Just like Ken G, which we really appreciate. We thank all you guys for being in here, donating, being a part of the stream. It's awesome. It truly is. It truly is. Nice. Seems hashtag Browns could be working for now. Just drop some questions in there with the hashtag Browns and or super chat with a question, folks. Face to face saying, is Shedeur number 2? We'll get into that. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Got a couple reports for you. You're not going to want to miss on today's show. Going to be a fun time. LeBron Davis in the chat. Oh, Declan Cahill. New Browns fan here after the UK game. Hopefully Browns get an Ireland game next year. Welcome to the Browns. Let's give Declan a warm welcome. Glad you tuned into that London game. It's fun. It's what the NFL's trying to do. Get a little bit more global, more international. And how about the Cleveland Browns getting an opportunity in a game they really should have won? They really should have. Thanks for joining ship with us. Rose said, you suffer with us. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Coming up on the show, lots of topics Browns fans you're going to want to know about. The Browns quarterback plan. What is it now that they've traded Joe Flacco? I've got the insight for you. Pat McAfee has a take about Kevin Stefanski's job security and Dillon Gabriel's play. You will not want to miss what the ESPN host said. A Browns-Steelers preview. It's such a big game. We've got to tell you everything you need to know about it and how Cleveland can pull it off. And finally, a Browns Report Q&A mailbag. We're answering all of your questions. Like I said, use the hashtag Browns in a chat with a question or a take and super chat with your question or take. We'll put it up on the screen and make sure you get in the video and that the world can see what you want them to see about the Cleveland Browns. Your take, your questions, we'll answer it. We'll get to them. Jam-packed show, folks. It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be everything you want to hear right now. What's fresh, what's new, what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. Kenji, I heard the Browns might go to Australia. Boy, that'd be interesting. Well, I wonder what time that game would be at Eastern time if we had to do that one.
Going to Australia to play, or like they're moving from Cleveland to Australia?
Imagine.
First international team to move.
Imagine. That's the word that Kenji's heard. Anyway, everybody, welcome in Producer Reed, everybody. There he is. Ninja Cow was asking about you last stream. He missed you.
Oh yeah, I'm all over the place. What was Ninja Cow asking?
Ninja Cow, you down there? He was just like,
Cow,
where's Reed? He was like, second week without Reed. L.
No.
Reed's a busy guy though.
I'm helping out a lot.
He's got a lot.
Different teams and channels and people.
Right.
And groups.
they use Reed a lot. But Reed, tell the people how much you love the Browns channel, the Browns fans, and doing this when you get called up.
Anyone who's been here, Ty Man knows. He just said, "Yo, what's up, Ty Man?"
Ty Man.
I've been here for. I've always been here. This is since Petey was here. Ken said yes. Reed, the Browns would go to Australia to play another team. Yeah. Hey,
be cool.
They did London, Germany. What else we got? Where are we? Where else?
Ireland.
Ireland. Australia.
Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah.
Australia.
I
Next.
don't doubt it.
I wonder how many hours. What's the time difference with us in Australia? So I wonder what time we would have to come in for that game if it was an Australia game. $8 a.m. there right now? Oh wow. Okay. So let's say their game would be at 1 their time, whatever. So 4 or 5 hours from now, be a night game.
5 hours from here, so it'd be at 9:30.
All right. It'd basically be like, Sunday Night Football at that point. We could do that. We could manage. It'd be a fun time. Danny Douglas said, talk about jet lag. Oh, yeah.
You'd have to get there pretty early. Like a week before the game.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Right.
Just to get your body used to it.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. Jay Schwan said, Shedeur is a quarterback god to you hillbillies. I really hope Shedeur is everything that the analyst said he would be before the draft and worth all the hype. I think he has the highest ceiling in that quarterback room. I think at his highest potential, it's better than what Gabriel's highest would be for the Browns. So I would love to see him play soon. I think there's a good chance he plays this season. We're going to talk about the Browns quarterback plan coming up on the show, folks. You're not going to want to miss the insight we got about how Cleveland plans to use their quarterbacks and what the heck they were doing before in preseason. Stay tuned for that. Lots to get to, folks. Lots to get to. Yeah. Might as well start it off with that first segment about the Browns' plan. You know what, actually? I'm going to make it quick because I like the way I just introed that. So I'm just going to start with that one. Yeah. Let's do it, folks. Are you guys ready to talk about Cleveland's quarterback situation? Seems like it's their biggest story for a lot of this year. All right. What is the Cleveland Browns' plan at quarterback? Shedeur Sanders, Dillon Gabriel, and now fans are mentioning Deshaun Watson. I'm going to tell you the insight that we have so you know everything you need to know about what Cleveland is actually doing and what the heck they were thinking in preseason. Also, Kevin Stefanski says he was absolutely shocked by the Joe Flacco trade. Quote, "The Joe trade took us by surprise. That was not something we saw coming." So what is the Cleveland Browns' plan? What are they thinking? What are they going to do now going forward with the two rookies being the only two quarterbacks on the active roster at the moment? Folks, welcome into the Browns Report. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue. You're not going to want to miss this episode. And make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes with breaking news, with the analysis you need to know. And when you're questioning, what are the Browns thinking? We've got the answers. 126 subs away from 54,000. Hit that red button. It's free. Helps us out. And you get free content every single day. You don't have to watch it, but it's free. And it's there if you hit that subscribe button. The Browns quarterback depth chart at the moment, as it stands, Dillon Gabriel is the starting quarterback. Folks, we saw that last week against the Vikings. Shedeur Sanders, unofficial depth chart. He is the backup quarterback, the number 2 as it stands. And Bailey Zappi, of course, is on the Cleveland Browns practice squad. I think it's important to note here, before the season, the Browns owner, Jimmy Haslam, said, quote, absolutely, when asked about if it's important for both rookie quarterbacks to play this season. So both of them are on the roster, and there's no one competing with them at the moment. We'll get into some other scenarios that the Browns are going to probably look into doing. But right now, it's a very strong chance that both rookies play this year. Gabriel, we've already seen make a start, and he's going to be the starter next week and probably a few more weeks after that. But Shedeur Sanders, they're saying, is just a play away. One really bad game, one really bad play, and all of a sudden, we could have a switch. Gabriel's to the bench, and let's evaluate Shedeur Sanders. It feels like it's inevitable this season that we see Shedeur play. For everybody that's been calling for it, dying for it to happen, I think it's going to happen. And I do think he has the highest ceiling in the quarterback room in terms of what he could be. Gabriel, maybe the more safer option. Shedeur, bigger boom bust, but that means higher ceiling. What was the Browns' plan, though? Right? Because you had Joe Flacco on the roster. You had Kenny Pickett on the roster in preseason. But you also, as I just showed you, said that you want to see both rookie quarterbacks play this year. So what was Cleveland thinking? This is where a lot of fans are getting really mad because Shedeur was 4th on the depth chart in preseason. Right? He was behind Gabriel, behind Pickett, and Flacco was the number 1. Cleveland thought Flacco was going to be the guy. And look, I don't know if they didn't watch him last year or what, but he was clearly pretty bad to start this year. And there was some excitement around it. Like, because of the hype of Flacco in 2023, it seemed like Cleveland had something to be excited about in Joe. But that just obviously wasn't the case when he actually got out there. So credit to Shedeur for moving up the depth chart, who was once number 4 entering the season. He's now all the way up to quarterback 2 on the unofficial depth chart for the Cleveland Browns. We'll keep you updated when they officially announce who the backup is this week against Pittsburgh and the weeks going forward. But what the fans are really mad about is that Joe Flacco took up all the reps with the ones in camp and in preseason. Was it a complete waste? Now you want to evaluate both rookies, but you didn't let them practice at all in preseason and camp. And Shedeur hasn't even gotten to practice with anybody until maybe right now that he can be potentially the backup. So a lot of fans are really pissed off about that. Did you just waste an entire offseason on 2 quarterbacks that aren't on the roster right now? Jerry Jeudy was asked about it, and he said, I don't know what that was. He said, I think we all thought those quarterbacks were going to be here, and they're not now. So I'll tell you what it was from the Browns' perspective. They thought that Flacco gave them the best chance to win, and that the rookies weren't ready to start in week 1. Clearly, Flacco was terrible. He was the turnover machine. He didn't give us the best chance to win, so Stefanski benched him. And a lot of people are saying how mad they are that this was a catastrophic preseason where now our rookies didn't even get many reps. And I think hindsight is always 20/20. Remember, they thought Flacco could win them some football games. And we should have beat the Bengals. We did beat the Packers. Probably no thanks to Flacco, but hindsight's always 20/20. The Browns are just not good at evaluating, I guess, because they evaluated that wrong. Flacco clearly was not ready to be a starting quarterback in the NFL in 2025. The weird thing is, though, the other part of the plan has been to play the rookies, as I showed you. So You want Flacco to play because you think he's going to win you games, but you also tell us that you want both rookies to play this season. Well, is that not a juxtaposition? How can you have one and not the other? Were you planning on Flacco playing 5 games and then benching him no matter what, no matter how good he was, to see the rookies? It seems like those two things contrast, and the owner, the coach, the GM, is anybody on the same page? And it is really unfortunate that Shedeur Sanders hasn't gotten any reps. He didn't get reps with the ones at all in preseason, despite being the starting quarterback in week 1 of the preseason. And now he's just been running scout team with Bailey Zappi. Never has been in contention to be the Browns' backup until now. And when asked if Shedeur Sanders would be the backup, what did Kevin Stefanski say today? I'll make a decision later on that. So, folks, it's not confirmed that Sanders is quarterback 2. It's not confirmed that he's moved up the depth chart. And I'll tell you what's a very real possibility. Bailey Zappi could be called up from the practice squad and be named the backup quarterback, and Shedeur might still be quarterback 3. He might still be inactive on game days as the emergency quarterback. I'm telling you now, there's a real chance that happens for week 6, whether he's elevated from the practice squad just for game day or signed to the active roster to be the backup. People are going to freak out. The fans are going to crash out on social media. I might crash out. If that's the case going forward, I'd crash out. Now, similarly to what I said when Flacco was named the backup, if this is only the case for week 6, that's the only way I'll let it slide. But if you tell me week 7, week 8, week 9, Bailey Zappi's our backup and not Shedeur Sanders, I'm going to crash out. Because Stefanski did stress that he wants to make sure the rookies are ready and that they're put in a position to succeed. So, because like I just told you, Shedeur Sanders hasn't gotten a fair amount of practice reps, perhaps the Browns don't think he'd be ready to be thrown in should something happen to Dillon Gabriel in the first quarter. Bailey Zappi's a guy who's been on the team before. He's played a game for the Browns last year, knows the system a little better. Okay, if you're telling me that it's just for this week because of such a quick turnaround, you traded Joe Flacco and Stefanski said surprised him, fine. Any week after that, I would absolutely be pissed off. And I would also say, no matter what, no matter who's named the backup for this week, we will see both rookie quarterbacks play this year for Cleveland. Haslam said it's important to do so in the preseason, and it would just be so stupid if they didn't evaluate both rookies, and none of them did anything special to show you that they're the franchise guy. Now you're going into the NFL draft next year needing a quarterback again and don't know if you have one. Let's see them both play. Folks, that's a lot to throw at you for the Cleveland Browns quarterback plan. Are you confident in it? Are we confident in the Cleveland Browns quarterback plan? We're giving you a big scale for this one. 1 to 100. Give me a number. How confident are you in the Cleveland Browns plan for their quarterbacks, specifically their rookie quarterbacks? Comment it down below. I see a comment saying negative 1,000 right now. The scale's 1 to 100, though. Now, one other piece of this equation that you really are going to want to know about, fans, because a lot of people are talking about this right now, and I have the answer. For everyone bringing up Deshaun Watson, stay tuned because I'm going to tell you exactly what Cleveland wants to do. But first, I'm super excited to tell you that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Honestly, I'm just so hyped that Browns football is back on Sundays. All is right with the world, and I'm big into daily fantasy with Prize Picks. I'm obsessed with it because it makes all the games more entertaining, and before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in, and Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. You know I had to make a lineup for this week, and I'm hoping that I make money. Jalen Hurts, more than half a passing touchdown. Dillon Gabriel in my lineup for rushing yards. Give me more than 11.5 rush yards for DG. I bet he gets a scrambler too. Tua, we're keeping the theme of quarterback rushing. More than 2.5 rushing yards. That seems pretty easy. He does it most weeks. If you want to try and make some money, you can download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. For everyone bringing up Deshaun Watson, may I remind you that our owner, Jimmy Haslam, came out and called trading for Deshaun Watson, quote, a big swing and miss. So the owner has already said this about a guy on the roster. You never hear that from someone that is trying to start that quarterback. May I also remind everybody that Deshaun Watson was awful when he started for the Cleveland Browns. I think we're losing sight because we haven't seen him play in what feels like a year. We're watching awful offense, and we're thinking, maybe it would be better with Watson. But don't forget how it was. In 2022, he had 5 interceptions in 6 games. The next year, he threw 4 interceptions, only played 6 games for us. Season-ending shoulder injury. Last year, season-ending injury again. And look at that quarterback rating. 21. It's awful. Don't forget about that. It was bad. Fans were screaming to bench Deshaun Watson, a guy that was being paid $200 million, and fans said, we need to bench him. I can't watch this anymore. Then we said it this year with Joe Flacco. So that's what I would just caution when you think about starting Deshaun Watson again later in the year. This is the rookie's time to play. Before we turn to Watson, I think we absolutely would turn to Shedeur Sanders. The rookies are up next. There's no way the owner would go out and call it such a big swing and miss, and he's missed so much time, and then they want to start him again. I think for that to be the case, the rookies would have to be awful. Gabriel would have to go out there and stink it up so bad that he gets benched. Shedeur would have to play, like he did in the Rams game in week 3 of preseason, which, again, not necessarily his fault because of how bad the offensive line was for him out there. But it would just have to be so bad that you have a quick evaluation of, okay, these aren't the guys. Let's use Watson. He's on the roster. We're paying him so much money. But I would guess that the Browns would not turn to number 4 until after we've evaluated a sample size of Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders first. That's reasonable to conclude 4 to 6 games for each. And then maybe you got 3 games left in the season and Watson's fully healthy and what you've seen isn't working. That's the only way I could see them then turning to number 4. But let's be honest, it's unlikely he does play this year. What do you think, Browns fans? Is it Watson time now that Joe Flacco has been traded? Will we see Deshaun Watson play this season? If you think we will, type Y for yes. If you don't think so, type N for no. Let me know in the comments. Stefanski also did say that Watson's rehab has been excellent, but he's not thinking about it right now. So we'll see, folks. Get ready. Buckle up. The Browns quarterback room is going to be a story for the rest of the season. And we're here for you. We're here for it on the Browns Report. Go ahead, follow me on X as well, at Joey070, if you want some more Browns news and rumors on what's going on quarterback-wise. We thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate all the fans of the Browns Report. And we will see you very shortly here on the next episode. Sweet. Good episode. That's it. A lot of no's in the chat.
I would hope so. I would really hope so.
Hope not.
I remember watching these games last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone remembers how bad it got when he tore his Achilles. The entire stadium was cheering.
Yeah, that was bad.
It was really bad.
To
the point where it's come on.
Yeah.
The guy just got hurt.
Yeah,
and the crowd was cheering and he was crying. It's as much as, he's got his background and what he's,
allegedly done.
I just, you can't root for injury.
No.
But you can also say no to this question.
Correct. Yeah. And that was kind of part of the point I was making too, of we haven't seen him for a while. I think we're forgetting. Guys, it was really bad when he was out there. 21 was his quarterback rating last year, folks.
Also, I'm seeing SK Sports Talk. He wasn't that good in Houston. He was really good in Houston. He was really good in Houston. We can pull up some stats from Houston.
He was good in Houston.
Maybe his last year, he wasn't great.
Yeah.
but he was still a quarterback that you would trade multiple first-round picks for.
Right.
Like, the trade, it was kind of crazy because you were like, whoa, because of the allegations.
Yeah.
But
I didn't like it at the time because of the allegations.
It was definitely a, well, at least he's a good quarterback, though.
Right.
Like, that type of thing. It was like, you know, you trade for Michael Vick with all the stuff going on, and you're like, well, at least it's Michael Vick, though. That's what we thought. You know, like, oh, well, at least it's Deshaun Watson. He's probably going to win MVP of the Browns.
Yeah.
Like, that type of thing.
Yeah, but you also knew he was going to get suspended, probably. The Browns knew that when they traded for him. They didn't think no one thought it'd be this bad, though. Like, so bad where those numbers I showed you are a real graphic, and he hasn't played a full season at all for the Browns because of suspension and then 2 season-ending injuries. Worst trade in NFL history, worst contract in NFL history. I mean, those are all valid things you could say. Crazy. It's crazy. But
I mean, his last year in Houston was disgusting.
in a good way.
What?
In a good way.
Yes, in a good way. It was very, very good.
Yeah.
He had 4,823 passing yards, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Good
I mean,
numbers.
the guy was slinging it.
I mean, he was a fringe top 5 quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
In
he also had, I think he had some rushing yards too. He had 444 rushing yards.
Wow.
And
pretty good.
3 rushing touchdowns. Year before that, he had 7.
What happened to him, man?
The fall off has to be studied. Because before he left Houston, he was so good at football. And then all of a sudden, he's just not.
Right when he gets to Cleveland. Which, I mean, maybe we just suck at developing quarterbacks. Maybe everyone's bad in our system. I don't know.
Hunter, that's a good point. He did have D-Hop. D-Hop.
Yeah, that was electric. But what did we gave him Amari Cooper. Good player.
That is a good player. Who else was there? 2021 or
22, 23,
22
and 24.
Because Judy didn't get there till 23, right?
I believe so.
Or
yeah,
because
or last year.
Was last year his first year as a Brown?
No, I think you're right. But yeah, we definitely had Cooper as number 1 though. And then trying to think, maybe right when he first got here. But yeah,
I strongly caution. Deshaun Richardson said Mel Kiper did this for a living. He said Shedeur is head and shoulders above these guys. I don't know if that's a like he is head and shoulders or he isn't. It's like making fun of Mel Kiper.
Oh,
I don't know which one it is.
But he did say that.
I strongly caution. What's his face? Colin Cowherd said years ago, LeBron, you're good. We got Ben Simmons.
That was so funny.
So some people just make mistakes sometimes.
Hey, LeBron.
I think Shedeur is a good quarterback. I think he was drafted too late. I think I've always said they should swap. I think Shedeur is better than Dillon. They should swap. He should have been picked in the 3rd round.
Right.
And Dillon should have been picked in the 5th.
That's fair.
I also think they should just pick one. Just pick one.
Yeah,
you don't need both.
No, it is weird that they drafted 2 rookie quarterbacks, and Flacco and Pickett were on the roster. I mean, you've been filming videos with me all season. I've been saying, what are we doing? Trade Pickett, and then they did. And I said trade Flacco, and they did. And now I'm saying start Shedeur eventually, soon. So we'll see. We will see. What's up, Tone? It'll be very interesting. Folks, if you want to be a part of our show today, share a question that you want me to answer or give your take on the matter, get your opinion heard to the 50+ thousand people we have, subscribe to the channel. Super Chat will automatically put you on the screen and get your question/take out there, or use the hashtag Browns with a question or take in the comment section and hope yours gets picked. But Super Chat automatically puts you in. What's going on, Tone? Said Joey. Oh. What is up? What is going on? A lot of people bringing up Watson's situation in the chat. And Ghostface says, I want Baker. I also never wanted us to get rid of Baker. I said that so many times to my friends, and they didn't listen. They did not listen. So, yeah, for our next segment, let me just, maybe I'll get a brown shirt or something. Or if you want to, you might take over for a second. Or at least change shirts. If you don't mind. Oh, sorry, brother. I got you. Folks, we've got... Oh, Jay Schwan. He was saying it is a good way. He says Shedeur is him. Shedeur is him. All right.
All right, Joey's going to go grab something. What are you grabbing? Oh, just a shirt. Okay. So he's taking it off. That's a good one. Yeah. Wait, what, who said? Oh, Jashawn said Shedeur is him. I mean, I think he's better than Dillon Gabriel. I never thought Dillon Gabriel was good. I thought. I'll say this. I didn't think Shedeur should have been like a top 5 or top 10 pick. But he shouldn't have been dropped all the way to the 5th round. I was thinking at least 2nd or 3rd. Belichick gave Brady the cheat code, defense recognition, and Brady gave it to Shedeur. Watch Shedeur cook. Yeah, that's the only thing that Joey was kind of talking about it. Like, they haven't really given him a chance to, like, you kind of like saw it a little bit, like the defensive recognition in the Panthers game. I think you just need more sample size of Shedeur to really get a grasp of what type of quarterback he is. Because in the Rams game, he did take a lot of sacks, and granted, the O-line was just a bunch of third stringers. But you got to make better decisions with the ball. If you know that your offensive line stinks, figure out a different way to make plays, that sort of thing. The Carolina game's one game. You need a little bit more than one game. If you base it off of just one game, Josh Rosen in college would have been a great quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not out on Shedeur. I think it should be swapped. I think he should probably be starting. Dillon Gabriel, I mean, they're not far off, but I think Shedeur is better than Gabriel.
I like that. Am I back? I'm back. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Fit check. Some good insight from Reed there. You know, I hear your Shedeur take. Rose! $10 super chat. Appreciate you, Rose. W. Rose in the chat. What'd you say to get Jay Schwan pissed off at you? Rose with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Rose says, what if we cycle through both Gabriel and Sanders to give them both playing time, satisfy both factions of players, and keep a defense on their toes for different styles of play styles. This was something I kind of talked about when Flacco was starting. Why don't we rotate the rookies in a little bit, have some plays designed for them to give you a little bit more mobility? Because they're both very different. Like, I bet you could run some RPOs with Sanders. You could do a little more different things with both. You're also more likely to sneak with Sanders probably than Gabriel. Like, I feel like there should have a couple sets where he could come in, but he hasn't been active on game day at all. So, to your point, Rose, I think it'd be a good idea to cycle through a little bit and try to evaluate both of them this year, so we know.
If we're evaluating Shedeur on the Carolina game, we have to evaluate him on the Rams game.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, the O-line was a bunch of scrubs.
Very, very much scrubs.
So it's like, all right, you kind of have to scratch that because it's like you can't get a real idea of him because he's getting chased around by everybody.
Yeah.
So then it's like, all right, then look at the Carolina game. It's only one game. It's like you need a little bit more to be like,
right.
Okay, yes, he's definitely like the future of the future quarterback. Because it's like you kind of have to scratch out the Rams game. But so then that means it's only one game. You need a little bit more.
Yeah. No, definitely. Definitely. And look, I mean, there were definitely some points in the Rams game where you could be like, well, they held on to the ball a little bit too long, took some big sacks that he should have gotten rid of. But they were, when we say scrubs, we're talking about fourth-string offensive linemen that didn't make the Browns' offensive line, who's one of the worst offensive lines in the league starting. So it's not an exaggeration to say they were scrubs blocking for him in that game. So I would love to see him play a regular season game. I think everyone at this point, whether you love him or hate him, like, I want to see what he can do. What he can do. What did you make? Grasshopper. Nice. Why doesn't he script it for us to win soon? Jeep Wolf agrees. So many think he's just perfect. He needs more than one game to prove anything. Right, I think we'd love to see a sample size for him. But I do think he has the highest ceiling of the quarterbacks in the room. Someone coming in? Yeah, let's do it. All right, folks, we've got another great segment for you here coming up right now. Who knows Pat McAfee? Who knows ESPN talent? Well, he's made some comments about Kevin Stefanski and Dillon Gabriel that we got to talk about. Is Stefanski's job safe? Good segment coming up for you guys. We got 69 viewers in the chat. Nice. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Ready? All right, let's do. You won't believe what ESPN's Pat McAfee had to say about Kevin Stefanski's job security and rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel's first start in the NFL. We're going to talk about all of it. Is Stefanski's job safe in Cleveland? Lots of Browns fans are screaming about the play calling and some things that we've seen. We're getting into all of it. You will not want to miss what McAfee said and the insight that we have for you on Stefanski's job and what's going to happen. But make sure you are a part of the Browns Report family, folks. Hit that subscribe button. We are pushing to 54,000 subs. We're so close. And what do you get if you subscribe? You get daily, free Cleveland Browns shows. It's a free thing to hit. We will never charge you. Hit that subscribe button, folks. Join us today. And we give you everything you need to know about the Cleveland Browns. So Pat McAfee on his show had this to say about Kevin Stefanski after a Browns fan was pissed off and said he should be fired. McAfee said, I do know Stefanski and Barry are going to be given a lot of opportunity because I don't think it was their decision to give the most amount of money guaranteed in the history of the NFL to anybody. And you start to think, that's a correct statement. It's the owner. Of course it's Jimmy Haslam. It's always been Jimmy Haslam who bought the team in 2012. This is the Browns' issue. The ownership is not on the same page with the GM, with the coach. Nobody's doing things right. So I told you it was 2012. That's when Haslam took over. Let's take a look at some of the Browns' seasons since he bought the team. 2012, 5-11 season. Follow that up with a 4-12 season. Follow that up under 500 again, a little better, 7-9. but nothing to keep us happy. I want to really highlight these next 3 years, folks, because I was a Browns fan for it. You were a Browns fan for it. High school was awful for me as a Browns fan. You go 3-13. You follow that up with a 1-15 season. And after the season, you only win one game. You enter the history books for the wrong reason. 0-16. I watched every single game of my favorite team for 2 years in a row and saw them win one football game. 32 games, one win. And that one win was our Super Bowl on Christmas Eve. It was a miracle. This is an issue. This is an ownership problem where every single year, no matter who you put in, is terrible. Let's jump ahead a couple years because he wasn't great in 18-19. 2020 is when Kevin Stefanski got there, when Andrew Berry got there. And at first, it was a little better. 11-5 season. You make the playoffs. Probably my favorite season as a Cleveland Browns fan in my lifetime. Beating the Pittsburgh Steelers in a playoff game. Incredible. That's when I fell in love with Baker. Next 2 years were mid, though. Losing season. 8-9, 7-10. So absolutely Stefanski and Berry should be getting some blame. I'm not pinning everything on the owner and forgetting about what I saw from Stefanski. 2023, you're back in the playoffs, though, with just a rotation of quarterbacks. So many different ones played, but Jim Schwartz and that defense turned things around in Cleveland as well. They looked phenomenal, helped carry us to the playoffs. And then last year, we're back to being one of the worst teams in football. You enter the NFL draft with the second overall pick and a 3-14 season. It's terrible. So everybody is calling for Stefanski to get fired. Everyone is roasting Andrew Berry. But I will remind you that Berry and Stefanski signed multi-year extensions with the Cleveland Browns. And the Browns will not disclose how long those extensions are. So there's a probability that McAfee's right. They are in there to stay for a while, Stefanski and Berry, because they signed multi-year extensions with the team. And so I do think that even though everyone is mad, everyone is calling for Kevin Stefanski to lose his job, there's some validity in it because Cleveland has consistently had star players on their roster. I mean, how do you not make that push when you have Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt on your offense, and one of the best offensive lines in the league? It's infuriating to think about us not capitalizing on that. And don't let how bad our owner is distract you from the game plan that Kevin Stefanski drew up last week for Dillon Gabriel's first start. It was ultra conservative. It's like he wasn't playing to win the game. It was easy to predict. Defenses can figure it out like there's no tomorrow. It was just too safe and not fun to watch. We didn't put up 20 again. It didn't work. We lost the game. So, I'm still mad about Stefanski. He still deserves some blame. But I think McAfee has a good point that it is the owner's problem. Let's take a look at what Stefanski had actually drawn up for Dillon Gabriel. Well, they averaged 5.5 air yards per attempt. If that was the case over an entire season, it would rank the second lowest among all qualifying passers. Now, Gabriel had a decent performance, 19 of 33, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But they let him throw it 33 times and average 5.5 air yards per throw. That's not a winning recipe as an offense. Consistently short dink and dunks 33 times. How is that going to move you down the field? How is that going to win you football games? Defenses are going to start accounting for it because Gabriel couldn't make a deep throw. The game was then mismanaged at the end. In the final few minutes, Cleveland burned 3 timeouts on the Vikings' game-winning drive to stop the clock for them. And it still left us with only 25 seconds left. It was awful by Stefanski. It's the reason we lost. So, yes, the coach deserves blame. Kevin Stefanski deserves blame. I'm not forgetting about that. And I think he's starting to become on a short leash in Cleveland. If we have a losing season this year and into next year, then it would be time to boot him. But it feels like no one in power is on the same page. Haslam's doing things that Stefanski doesn't agree with. Barry's doing things that Stefanski didn't know about. Stefanski said today that the Joe Flacco trade was a shock to him. He didn't know. I mean, are we on the same page at all? The owner made the move to go pay Deshaun Watson all that money. And get this, we didn't draft an offensive lineman in 2025. How do you not draft our biggest need right now? I mean, it's so bad. The offensive line is crushing our team, crushing our offense. I showed you this, right? This was the state of the Cleveland Browns offensive line entering the year. You knew that when you were in the NFL draft. 4 of the 5 starters are on contract years and 30 years or older. And now DeJuan Jones, of course, is out for the year, having his 3rd straight knee surgery. You knew most of this entering the NFL draft, though, and you did not draft a lineman. Who is supposed to succeed behind this offensive line, folks? Now, I will say Jack Conklin, returning from injury last week, helped out a little bit. He looked pretty good at right tackle. And Cam Robinson, who we traded with the Texans for, will help out the Browns as well. He was only given 7 snaps last week. He was a swing tackle. I imagine him to emerge as the Browns' starting left tackle to replace DeJuan Jones. This will help, but it's just a mess. Front office, coach, GM-wise, folks. Should you fire the coach? To the Browns fans screaming about it. Should Kevin Stefanski be fired? What do we think in the comment section? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. I'm really starting to agree with McAfee, though. The owner is the biggest issue. Sell the dang team, Haslam, if this keeps up, because we as fans can't keep enduring this pain when our defense is super good. But let me know what you think about Stefanski. You still want him out? You still want him fired? Browns fans, let me know. Coming up on the show, you're not going to miss that Pat McAfee had some comments about Dillon Gabriel's performance, his first start. People saying it's good. Was it really that good? Let's talk about what McAfee said. You will not want to miss it, folks. Join the party. Subscribe right now so that you can get all Cleveland Browns news and updates as soon as it happens. Hit that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss it, folks. And let's tell you exactly what Pat McAfee had to say about Dillon Gabriel. He said that Dillon Gabriel looked good. I thought they, us Browns fans, would be a little more positive. I didn't know it was going to be this negative. He's saying this in regards to our emotions after losing the game. So a lot of people are being positive about Dillon Gabriel's performance, but he's saying, why are Browns fans so upset right now? Well, first of all, we lost the game. And sure, Dillon did a fine job. It was fine. It was decent. But I got a lot of inside numbers to tell you about Dillon Gabriel's first start, that if you just looked at the box score, you'd say, oh, yeah, it was good. But did you watch the game? He's not the reason we lost, by any means. It was pretty good for circumstances he was put into. I'm going to get into that as well. But the reason we're so upset is we lost the game. It still isn't working. Our offense still sucks. We still can't move the ball. And now we got to go play Pittsburgh next week with this same offense that hasn't put up 20 points. That's why we're upset. Now, overall, like I said, the numbers in the box score don't look bad at all. 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a 94 quarterback rating. It's a fine job. Most important thing is that he didn't turn the ball over. But we didn't see any flashes. We didn't see any, we got the guy. We saw what I told you we would see. Some game manager aspects. It's not that simple, though. The analysts didn't watch the game. When you hear all these people, these quote-unquote expert analysis telling you he looked good, they're looking at the box score. They're watching other games. Every friend you talk to that says, hey, Gabriel looked good, I got that in the office too. You're just looking at the box score. You were watching your own game. He missed a lot of throws when they were over 10 yards. He was inaccurate. He didn't go deep at all. NFL defense is going to be able to plan against that, folks. And I'm not ripping on Gabriel at all. I think he was decent, like I said. Like, we could win a game with Gabriel as a starter. Absolutely. We should have won the football game. But the plan was so conservative. And every time he tried to make a deep throw, it wasn't there. That's not going to win you the game, consistent 5-yard throws. It just won't. It won't. That's the truth. And guess what? The Browns were 3 of 15 on third downs against the Vikings. 3 of 15. He couldn't pick up the big ones because, like I said, looks kind of like it's going to be easy to scheme against. And our offense still can't score 20 points. So I'm not ripping on Gabriel. I'm just telling you, you're not going to be happy, for Browns fans, if we see this week after week after week. Putting up 17, no explosive plays. I mean, that's hurting the Browns the most. We are one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to explosive plays, and I didn't see any on Sunday in the past game. Quinshon Judkins is saving our season, folks, with his explosiveness. All right, I told you the negative. I told you why we shouldn't hype up the Dillon Gabriel first start. But I would give him credit for his first start given the circumstances, okay? He didn't do anything wrong. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying. It's just clear that he didn't show any super talent that he's a starting quarterback for years to come in the NFL. That's all I'm saying. I would give him credit for what he did in the circumstances he was put under. You know, it was his first NFL start. We have to remember it's his debut. He's new to this. And he does it overseas. Big environment. Low-key, it's prime time. Overseas, jet lag, whatever you want to say. It's not the easiest place to make your first start. I absolutely give him credit for playing a clean game. He's facing a Brian Flores-led defense that's pretty good in Minnesota. As defensive coordinator, Flores is historically good against rookie quarterbacks. So I also credit Gabriel for not turning the ball over against that Vikings defense. And then he had to play with this very conservative game plan from Kevin Stefanski. Like I told you, they didn't even want to let him try it deep. And when he did, it was off the mark. So I think that's partially Kevin Stefanski not wanting to put Gabriel in harm's way, right? He doesn't want Gabriel to look bad, so he's just going to make it super safe, make it so he can't turn the ball over. And that also translates to, well, that's why Gabriel didn't look flashy or special at all, because the game plan was for him not to. It was for him to just play safe, lead the Browns down the field, and manage the game. And I think as Browns fans, we don't want to watch that every week. He coached the game not to lose it. He didn't play to win. He played it super safe, dink and dunk. Let's just not turn the ball over, give up the big play. I want to play to win. Call something explosive. For Browns fans, we need it. I'm not loving the stagnant offense week after week after week. So I'm calling you out, Stefanski. Draw something up. Fix it. Not a fan. What do you think, Browns fans? Rate Dillon Gabriel's first NFL start on a scale of 1 to 10. Give me a number in that comment section. How do you think he did? Like I said, all things considered, it was a clean game. He didn't turn it over. Totally fine with that. But he didn't show any flashes. And that offense is simply not going to work going forward. Folks, we thank you so much for tuning in to the Browns Report. Hopefully Cleveland starts winning some more football games. This AFC North is wide open, and we should have picked up a couple more wins. We at least got one big one against the Packers, so it's not over yet. It's early in the season. Keep tuning in. Keep watching, folks. Let's get some good luck in Cleveland. We thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Folks, I know it may seem controversial, but that's the truth. It's the truth. If you watched the entire game like I did, and Joe Hayden actually said this today on a podcast. He said Gabriel didn't do. He said Gabriel didn't hit anyone deep. They were all any pass over 10 yards is off the mark. Time Man gives him an 8. Ghostface gives him a 7. Rose says 7. He did all right with what he was given. I think that's the fairest way to put it, Rose. He did all right with what he was given. And with all the circumstances I showed you, that's a tough environment and place to go into for your first NFL start. Absolutely. But a lot of people that didn't watch the game are saying, yeah, Gabriel looked good. He looked fine. He didn't do much. He wasn't asked to do much. I'm not saying it was his fault either. But it was just a super conservative game plan to barely do anything and hope we win. And we almost did. We almost did. But I do blame Stefanski most of all for the loss against the Vikings. More than anyone, I blame the play calling and the clock management. And that falls on the coach. And when I showed you year after year after year, the Browns have losing seasons, that's an up-top leadership issue. Because no matter who you're putting in there, we haven't made it to the Super Bowl. We haven't made it to the Super Bowl ever. Sorry, it's just my actual Browns fans' emotions. I'm pissed off, man. We got to turn this around. We got to turn it around, folks. Kaya says a 7. Kelly says a 6. Christopher, 6.5. Yeah, those are fair. I would say, yeah. Above average.
I also think there's a good point. Like, I feel like it's so tough nowadays with guys like C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Like, you're expecting results as soon as they step on the field.
Yeah.
Because it's been done before.
Right.
It's so rare. It is so rare to get a season like C.J. Stroud or Jaden Daniels.
True.
Like, that's why that's why the Commanders went from barely winning to getting the second overall pick to then literally flipping the script and going to the NFC Championship last year.
Yeah, literally.
It's because you get a guy like Jaden Daniels. It's like, I don't know if anyone's ever played like Madden or video games or whatever. It's like the hidden gem. Like, you don't know that until it happens. Like, you can't be like, oh, I'm going to draft this guy because I know he's going to light it up. Like, if they did that, every team would have a great quarterback and great players like that.
Right.
It's hit or miss. But at the same time, people are so different. Like, if you got to sit on the bench for a couple years, that's what happens.
That's true. I think.
Like, the developmental side of things is so different with each different player. Like, that's why, I mean, who could have guessed that Brock Purdy would be the Brock Purdy that he is now, being the last pick in the draft?
Right.
He just got his chance, and there you go.
Right. But
Shedeur will get his chance. Like,
yeah.
Starting quarterback, gone. Rookie quarterback, probably they said they're going to get snaps. He'll get snaps. If he's a good quarterback, he'll show that he'll prove to them, you got to start me. Like Brock Purdy did. You got to start me. I'm going to win games for you. Like, that's what he's got to show, because that's when everyone's going to be like, why are you not starting?
Right.
There's going to be no debate. It's going to be him no matter what.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
And Dillon has to do that too.
Yeah.
If he does that, hands off.
That's
like,
the point.
You have to do that. But he didn't do that against the Vikings.
Exactly.
So now there's still a conversation.
Exactly. And to your point, I think we are impatient these days as fans, you know. A lot of times it does take a while for quarterbacks to develop in the league. It does take some time. It does take some sitting on the sidelines and learning to get there, to get to that great quarterback spot. But in today's game more than ever, teams need quarterbacks. Rookies are being asked to do it right away. The Browns are one of those teams now. So we as fans, we're eager to see it, to see some greatness from Dillon or Shedeur. Greg. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Greg. Where's the other guy?
He went on a different career path. He is passionate about a couple things, sports being one of them, obviously. He had an opportunity, and he took it. So he changed career paths.
Changed careers.
No hard feelings. We love PD. PD loves us.
True.
PD loves you guys. AFX, gives you a shout out. Joshua Miller,
It's true.
He'll pop in from time to time on watch parties too. So
yeah, it's true. I still get a lot of comments about that, but it's true. He changed careers. He quit, but we love him. Christopher, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Says, don't forget, they are not first-round talent. That's true, too. Or at least they weren't drafted in the first round. Gabriel 3rd, Shedeur 5th. Yeah, I think Shedeur's is just such a unique case, right? We've never seen that. It was a guy that was all mock drafts had in the first round. Heck, the first 2 picks. And he fell to the 5th round. So I think that's just such a unique situation. And obviously he's got the name brand, the hype. That's why everyone's talking about him so much.
Yeah.
They think he can be because of college career and pre-draft analysis.
Like, do you know the other quarterback that got drafted before or after Shedeur in like the 4th or 3rd round?
Before or after?
Either one.
Like Tyler Shuck?
Or like in the 4th round.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that got drafted. Do you know his name?
Who?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
he's got that name brand where, like, maybe that guy's better than him or not, but he was drafted where he was drafted because we're not sitting in the war room talking to all the people, like the GMs and coaches, and being like,
Right.
oh, what do you think of him? They're never going to say.
Right.
But obviously, they drafted him.
Right.
So they probably wanted him.
Right.
So it's like, you're not going to waste a draft pick just to get somebody.
Yeah.
Like, they're X's and O's. And yes, he's got a name, but like that's why people are going to talk about him.
Right.
But like, I think he'll get his chance.
Yeah, I think he will.
No matter what.
I think so too. I do think it's weird though. Like I don't think it was talent related. You can't tell me anyone who evaluated talent had Shedeur behind Gabriel and Tyler Shuck in the draft on their board.
See, like I think Shedeur is better than Tyler Shuck and Dillon Gabriel.
Right.
But
sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
What the reports were, and we were just talking about this in the office, was a lot of people thought it was his pre-draft interviews or something that the Steelers said they didn't like. I don't know what he said in them, but
I wonder if it was just he didn't say a ton.
Maybe.
And like they were looking for something. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
it was fishy. Everyone's got their theories.
I think it's hard to be like, oh, the entire NFL is conspiring against him.
Right.
That's a little far. But I do think there are teams that are like, I don't want to get involved.
Yeah. No, I mean.
And fair enough, because when you get Shedeur, you get Dion, but not really. You're seeing that you're only really getting Shedeur.
Yeah. Dion.
So I think a lot of people were wrong in that sense. Maybe they're like, man, maybe we should have taken a chance on him.
Right. Yeah. I think Stefanski, too, you can tell. I feel like he's getting tired of answering questions about Shedeur as well. And it's like, look, the people want to see him. I think we will. Dolphin X! $2 super chat. Dolphin X. That's hilarious. We got to get this one here. PD is cool, but I love me a cup of Joey. Pause. Appreciate you, Dolphin X. I love some Dolphin X as well in my live streams. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you. We really do. What's up? Oh, yeah, your boy. Kia Adams said, plot twist, I doubt either rookie quarterback will be the franchise guy. I mean, that's possible, too. My point is, we need to see them both and figure that out.
Yeah, you don't know.
Right?
Like, is Caleb Williams the Bears franchise guy? I don't know.
I don't know, Jim.
I don't think he is. I think he's an average quarterback in the NFL.
You could say that, yeah.
So was Mitch Trubisky.
He was worse.
But he was their franchise guy.
They traded up to get him.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
It's NFL's weird. And it's like it's hard to tell. That's why we got to see them play. Yes, sir. Folks, we are going to get into our Browns-Steelers preview segment. The big game is coming up this Sunday. Get ready. And then we're going to do a segment where we answer all your questions in the chat, in the super chats. So if you have a question that you want the world to see, or take you want the world to see about the Browns, super chat it, and we'll guarantee you're on the show. Or use the hashtag Browns with your question or take in the comment section, and we'll do a video answering a select few. Or you can super chat, skip that line, and be automatically put into our video and get on the screen with a shout out. So, folks, up to you. Get those in as we go throughout the stream here, doing our preview video first, and then we'll do our Q&A. So that's what's coming up, folks. Dolphin X, glad I got a laugh. That was a good one, dude. That was funny. I like that. I'm a big fan of pause jokes. I make them a lot. Yes, sir. What? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yep. Good. Yeah. Are the people ready for this Browns Steelers preview? Are they ready? Yeah, might as well. Okay. Sweet. The first graphic? Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. In that case, make sure I'm ready. Prize picks for this one. Cool. All right. The AFC North is still wide open, ladies and gentlemen. Would you believe the Cleveland Browns are just 2 games back of first place? And they play the team in first place this week. We haven't played them yet this season. That makes this a massive game. You need to know every single thing about it going into it. We've got a preview for you. We've got a special guest interview with a Steelers expert here at Chat Sports. And I'll tell you what the Cleveland Browns need to do to fix their offense and win this football game. Welcome in the Browns Report, everybody. I am your host, Joey O'Donohue. And we are also in a subscriber battle this week, our Week 6 sub battle with the Steelers Talk channel. We have a slight lead in the sub battle, folks. 686 new subs for us this week. Shout out to you guys. We super appreciate you. The Steelers channel has 657. We need to bury this lead before Sunday, folks. So hit that subscribe button just to beat those Steelers fans, to show that Browns fans do it better. And without further ado, let's get into this preview interview video that I mentioned with our Steelers host, Jack. Joining us live on the Browns Report is our Steelers expert, Steelers Talk host, Jack Sperry. Jack, thank you so much for being with us here today. Obviously, division matchup going on here. It's a shame because I like this guy, and then he always comes over here talking about the Steelers, and we just have to have that rivalry. But no, thank you for joining us. How you feeling so far?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty darn good. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Absolutely. I think the first thing that Browns fans might be wanting to know from a Steelers insider, what would you say the Pittsburgh Steelers' biggest weakness is? Maybe something Cleveland would be able to exploit.
Well, I'd say right now it's probably left tackle Broderick Jones. Broderick was a first-round pick a couple years back. Steelers traded up for him. Played his first few years at right tackle, and he wasn't very good over there, so they moved him over to left tackle, where he played his college ball at Georgia. And they kind of drafted him with the intent of him being there for their future left tackle. And he just hasn't been fantastic to start this season. He hasn't been really great as a pass protector, plays really upright, so he can be susceptible to the bull rush. And as we know, Myles Garrett is one of the best edge rushers in the league, rushing left tackles, especially converting speed to power. And that's a matchup that, as a Steelers fan, I'm really worried about, because even though I think that the Steelers roster overall might be better than Cleveland's right now, I think you can make an argument that this matchup is a nightmare for the Pittsburgh Steelers and could be the matchup that could really wreck the game for the black and gold and could keep Cleveland in this ballgame. Aaron Rodgers is not the most mobile quarterback in the world. I'm sure Pittsburgh's going to do some things to try and alleviate that matchup, and maybe put Darnell Washington on a double team, use an extra offensive lineman. They've been doing some of that stuff as of late, so I don't think Myles Garrett is going to be going up against Broderick Jones one-on-one, but in those kind of few opportunities where that is the case, those are the moments which Myles can really take over this ballgame.
Some great insight right there. That could be a big matchup advantage for Cleveland. You sort of briefly mentioned Aaron Rodgers' mobility. Through the first 5 weeks, what have you seen? Give us your analysis of Aaron Rodgers' gameplay so far.
Well, he is certainly not, I would say, the MVP caliber quarterback that he once was. Moving around, making plays out of structure, outside of the pocket is kind of a little bit of the secret sauce that allowed him to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He still has everything in terms of the in-structure playmaking. He still has excellent pocket presence. He still has a very live arm, extremely quick release, and he is still, arguably top 3 smartest quarterback to ever play the game, alongside Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. His pre-snap process is excellent. He's #1 in the league right now in average time to throw, so he's getting the ball out fast. But he's really not throwing the ball down the field because defenses have really been playing a lot of too high safety structures against the Steelers offense this year. They're kind of forcing him to kind of dink it and dunk it and run the football. And the Steelers have had some success with that. The Steelers are number 1 in yards after the catch right now. DK Metcalf is number 1 in the league in yards after the catch. Jalen Warren, who's going to be back from injury this week, their running back, is an excellent receiving back as well. They got Jonnu Smith, who's one of the best pure yak threats at the tight end position. So the Steelers are really going to try and get the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands quickly, and I think that that's going to be their plan to try and alleviate Myles Garrett's impact on this football game.
Interesting. So clearly tackling has got to be an emphasis for the Browns with how good they are yards after the catch in Pittsburgh. What I will give Pittsburgh credit for is you guys are winning football games. You're first in the AFC North right now. How are you guys winning these games?
Well, I would say a big part of it is turnover creation on defense. The defense is giving up a lot of yards, especially through the air right now, but something that they've been really doing a good job of is turning the football over. They had 5 turnovers created versus New England. They created even more than that versus the Minnesota Vikings, and that's really helped them out. But also, they're playing really well in crunch time moments. All right, they played really well at the end of the game in the Jets game. The defense did not play well in that game, but they stopped the Jets 2 times in a row in the fourth quarter to set up the game-winning field goal. Then in New England, their offense doesn't really have anything going all day, and then in a clutch moment in the fourth quarter, get a touchdown pass to Calvin Austin III. And then in Minnesota, you kind of dominate that game all the way through, and then they let them back in at the end. But, you know, they're winning these games because they're stepping up in these big moments, and they're not allowing the opposing team to make these big plays when it's crunch time.
I wish the Browns had closed a couple more of their games. Who's your pick to win the AFC North right now?
I mean, it's got to be the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. I mean, I'm the Steelers host, obviously, so I'm biased. But I think right now, you know, they've already got a game and a half head start over the Cincinnati Bengals, who are currently second. And even though they traded for Joe Flacco, I don't think anybody's really expecting the Bengals to, you know, magically turn around their season, at least until Joe Burrow gets back. But it doesn't sound like he'll be back for a couple of months. So I look at Cleveland. I actually think Cleveland is probably the second best team in the division right now. Baltimore, they need to get healthy, but even before that, they were definitely not playing fantastically. So I think right now, if I'd have to pick, you know, 1 through 4, I'd say the Steelers are the best team, the Browns second, probably Baltimore, and then Cincinnati might be the worst team in football right now without Joe Burrow. That's how bad their offensive line and their defense is. So, you know, I think Cleveland is a team here that, you know, they've got a good defense, pretty good pass rush. They can play man coverage. Quinshon Judkins is looking pretty darn good. I think Dillon Gabriel, you know, he's not a fantastic quarterback, but he can distribute, and he can read an NFL defense, which isn't nothing. So I think that, you know, as a Steelers fan, the team that I'm most worried about, at least at this point in the season, is the Cleveland Browns.
Wow, and it just shows you how big this game is. It's the first time the Steelers and Browns are meeting this season. Jack, thank you so much for joining us here on the Browns Report. Appreciate all your insight and your time, man.
Thanks, Joey. Thanks for having me on.
Like the video to show your support for Jack giving us his time today. If you like host interviews, to see the perspective from the other team, to see who we're going up against on Sundays, drop a like on the video right now so I know that you guys are enjoying the content when I bring on other hosts. Let me know about it and like the video. I got to tell you guys how Cleveland can fix their offense. And I'm also excited to tell you that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. And honestly, I'm just so hyped that football is back on Sundays. All is right with the world, and I'm big into daily fantasy with Prize Picks. I'm obsessed with it because it makes all the games more entertaining. And before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in, and Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. And you know I had to go ahead and make another lineup, and I might put the bank account on this one, folks. Bryce Young, more than half a passing touchdown against that Cowboys defense. Cowboys defense has been atrocious. He'll at least get one. Quinshon Judkins, his longest rush, more than 16.5 yards. He's got a big pop every game he plays, it feels like. I love it. And then Josh Jacobs, more than half a touchdown rushing or receiving against that Bengals defense in a game where the Packers will probably dominate and run it more. Yeah, I love this lineup. If you want to try and make some money, I'm going to. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Now, you heard Jack talk about Aaron Rodgers' performance this season. Well, I got to tell you, it's not been amazing, and they're winning football games. But did you know that his PFF grade right now is 50.4? That's 38th. That's the worst out of every quarterback in the NFL. Now, I don't know if they just hate him, but PFF, they go inside the numbers. They give you grades. His is the worst of all quarterbacks right now. And the Browns' defense, on the other hand, they're still ranked second in the NFL in total defense. The Falcons are first, but they only played 4 weeks. Cleveland is first among teams who played 5 games. So that defense is still doing its job. They're still not giving up a lot of yards. They're still going to keep us in football games. And the Browns are still first in rush defense in terms of rushing yards given up per game, 75.6. That's best in the NFL for your Cleveland Browns defense, folks. So this game is 2 good defenses going at it, 2 quarterbacks that PFF hasn't graded too high yet. My question is, how do you plan to score this week? How are we going to move the ball this time? Because I'm done watching the offense that doesn't put up 20. And you got to play another tough defense in Pittsburgh. So let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, how does Cleveland fix the offense and make this a higher scoring game in Pittsburgh? Well, I say first, Dillon Gabriel has to lead. The game plan for his first start was to game manage, was to not try anything crazy, was to throw it short, dink and dunk football, nothing too explosive. I think now it's clear that this Browns offense needs a hero. We need a savior. No matter who we're putting back there is not leading to 20 points. So, Gabriel, you got to show me something. You got to go out there. You no longer have a secured start. Flacco's been traded. There's another rookie on your heels. Go out there. Be the hero now. He averaged 5.5 air yards per attempt against the Vikings. So, like I said, it was a very, very simple conservative plan. And now I'm asking you, hey, go out there and try some things. This offense needs saving. Jerry Jeudy has not been good this year. He's been dropping the ball. Doesn't even look like a number 1 like he did last year. Gabriel, you've got to save the franchise. I know it's a big ask, but you got to give us something. You have to be the leader. You're leading the team right now. You're the starting quarterback. No matter who you are going to be looked at. You are going to be given the blame. You're going to be given the credit when we win and lose. We need the quarterback to be the leader in order to score points. The Steelers know about our run game, folks, as well. So Judkins has been amazing. He's a monster. We're going to keep feeding him, as we should. But don't you think the Steelers are going to game plan against Judkins? I mean, they've had our number for a little while. They know us well. We haven't won in Pittsburgh in what feels like forever. Mike Tomlin said that Judkins is an awesome replacement, if you will, for Nick Chubb. You know, Tomlin loved to comment on Mr. Chubb, as he would call him. Nick Chubb, we absolutely love him in Cleveland. His prime was amazing. And Judkins is looking like he could be the next Chubb, Quinshawn Chubbkins. And Chubb was so good. You know, we will pump the brakes a little, but Quinshawn looks amazing. I mean, he has every aspect that you want in a running back. Vision, power, speed, burst, elusiveness, literally every quality. Yards after contact, I've loved it. I've loved it, but it can't be all on Judkins. He can't be our only player on offense producing. Teams are going to figure that out quick. So, Cleveland, do something. And this is what brings me into my last key for the offense. It's you, Kevin Stefanski. You're on the hot seat. Browns fans are screaming about your job security right now. This is your show-out game. This is your time. This is the biggest game of Cleveland's season. You're playing Pittsburgh. You haven't played them yet. You've lost to the other 2 divisional opponents already. You have a chance to beat the team that's in first in a wide-open division. I'm calling out Kevin Stefanski. Hey, Stefanski, you need a masterclass. You need to save your job. Your play calling can't be the most conservative play calling that I've ever watched in my life, where their quarterback averages 5.5 air yards per attempt. Yes, that's a real stat. You need to draw something up to shut down the noise, to calm the Browns fans' nerves, and say, hey, it's not your fault. Because this offense has not put up 20 points in however long it's been. Not at all this season, I'll tell you that for sure. So my message is, Kevin, you're on the hot seat. Show me something. Let's move the football. And this Steelers defense is going to be tough to do it against. They have 10 turnovers this season. That is second most in the NFL, only behind the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's not an easy place to go play. They're good at getting turnovers. Gabriel didn't have one last week. We're very lucky that he didn't. And you know, defensive coordinator over there is going to try and force one out of the rookie. So I think there is that element of playing it safe and not forcing things. But as we saw last week, that's not winning football. That's not a winning recipe. You've got to take shots. You've got to take chances. Cleveland lacks explosive plays more than any other team in the league, it feels like. The Steelers' defense is good. Stefanski, it's time to show why you consistently insist on calling the plays for the Browns. Why have you not given up play calling duties? Show me in this game. Dial up the masterclass that makes anyone on our offense win. Let's see it. And look, could this be an ugly football game? Yeah, it could. There's two good defenses, two quarterbacks that aren't rated high in the NFL. It could end up being an ugly one, but that means that every single possession matters. It's even more important for Stefanski to do better because we haven't even won the ugly ones this year. Our only win really was because of a miracle in the fourth quarter, a blocked field goal and an interception when the Packers had the lead late in the game. We haven't won the ugly ones. You would think that would be our recipe to win. Our defense is so good, we keep it close, but we're not capitalizing. We're not closing. We're not winning in the final drive. And last week was just a train wreck of clock management to lose the game in the last minute. So that's why I'm calling out the offense, saying, you need to step up. Our defense has been great, but clearly we can't win with the number 1 ranked defense, now number 2 ranked defense. Be the fortune teller, folks. Predict the score of the Browns versus the Steelers in that comment section right now. I want to see an exact score prediction and your winner of Browns Steelers. I think it's such a big game. I think it will be close because of how good both defenses are. And give me the Cleveland Browns 20-16. Actually, you know what? 17-16. We're not going to score 20. Hit that subscribe button, folks, if you're a diehard Browns fan and you want to beat Pittsburgh this week. We will be live for it. Join our watch party. We thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Predict it in the comments. Predict it.
I'm going,
Yeah, what you got?
I'm going 10-3 Browns.
Yeah, baby. I'll take it. Who scores the touchdown for the Browns?
The stud.
Yeah.
Quinshawn Studkins.
Studkins, baby. I'm starting him in fantasy again. Fire him up. They robbed me last week because he literally had a long touchdown and they called it back. It was a hold, but 50-yard touchdown. Come on, man. Give the guy some yards for it. See what our comments are saying here. Poof be gone. He said you can't run 30 times. I mean, yeah, they're just going to start stacking the box. They're going to try and make Gabriel beat us. That's my other point. That's why it has to be the offense that comes together and wins for us. Because clearly, we don't have a winning recipe right now with a good defense and a bad offense. It hasn't worked through 5 weeks. Hunter said, screw Pittsburgh. They always play dirty. Yeah, F Pittsburgh in the chat, too. While you're doing your score prediction, just put F Pitt. F them. Christopher says, Cleveland 12, Schittsburg 17. I could see something like that. Poof Begon said, he's 5'11". The D-line is going to have their hands up. Best we can do is some rollout plays. Well, that's the other thing, that's why we're giving Gabriel this sample size of 4 to 6 weeks. Like, can he be a successful quarterback, or are all the critics right? Is this going to be hard to win with him under center? Time will tell. And that's why I want to see both quarterbacks this year. Time, man, 28-10 Browns. Big offensive boom for the Browns, according to Time Man. I would love that. Ghostface, 16-13 Browns. I like that. Poof be gone. F Pitt. Hunter, F Pitt. F them. Who do you have winning, Poof be gone? You just said 10-13. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? All right, folks. Our next and final segment of the day is going to be our Q&A. So if you want to be a part of it, super chat with a question or a take. We'll make sure you get in the video if you super chat, or use the hashtag Browns in the comment section, and producer Reed will go through, pick some comments, some questions for me to answer live on the show, and we'll post this video Saturday, I would imagine, for everybody to see it on YouTube. Get your takes heard, get your super chats in to be a part of this. What's that? Oh, yeah. All right, yeah. Yeah, Reed is also going to has got some YouTube comments that he's found. He's going to put up. So you can also comment your questions on our YouTube videos to try and be a part of the mailbag. Got some good ones. You guys got good questions? Super chat, get them in there, or use the hashtag Browns. But let's do it. Let's do it. And you can still get them in. If you're super chatting, you can still get them in while we're doing the video. Deadline to use the hashtag Browns is a couple minutes, though. So get those questions in. Super chatters will make sure you get into the video with your question or take. Oh. 0 shares. Yeah. Check the metrics. All right, let's do it. Get those questions in, folks. We are starting the mailbag now. Super chatters, we will make sure you are in this video. Reed, are you ready? All right. Let's do. Browns fans have pressing questions, and we got to get on here and answer them. There's been so much news in Cleveland lately. Joe Flacco being traded to the Bengals. Massive game coming up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I got you covered. Gone through YouTube comments, gone through commenters, super chatters. So make sure you're doing that actively on our channel to get in these videos. And it's time to answer some of your questions. Also, you got to make sure you are subscribed to be a part of the family, to be a part of the Browns Report. If you want your voice heard, hit that subscribe button. And we also give you the latest Browns news right when it happens. If you want that for free, and that sounds like a pretty good deal, hit that subscribe button. It comes your way free whenever you want it. Let's get into the first question for us. Ken G sent in a $20 super chat. Thank you so much to Ken G. What a legend. And Ken G said, so much fun in London. Here's what I saw. Judkins is a beast. Carson is a Tasmanian devil. Myles Garrett is really fast. Got to tell you, Stefanski's fine. He hasn't had a real quarterback in 3 years. Let it gel. Well, Ken G, first thing I agree with is Judkins is an absolute beast. His yards after contact is incredible. His elusiveness, his vision. He's being hit right away, and he's bouncing off defenders and making big pops after contact. It's phenomenal. We've got a star running back in Cleveland. Carson Schlesinger is everywhere on the field. Whoever catches the ball, Schlesinger, beeline to the football. He's everywhere. His pursuit is amazing. We've got a star rookie linebacker in Cleveland as well. Myles Garrett, super fast, turns 30 in December, and he's looking like the best version of himself we've seen through the first few weeks. The Stefanski take, this is where Cleveland Browns fans get controversial. This is where they get heated. Has he not had a real quarterback in 3 years? Baker Mayfield? Deshaun Watson? I mean, I don't know if he is a real quarterback. Not anymore, certainly. How much more time can we let it gel, Ken G? We're getting sick. We're getting tired. As Browns fans, we are. But I do think the owner is the real issue, Jimmy Haslam, who bought the team in 2012. It hasn't been pretty. At least Stefanski and Barry have had some success, some bright spots. I can't tell you what Jimmy Haslam has done. He made the trade for Deshaun Watson. Rose sent in a $10 super chat. Said, what if we cycle through both Gabriel and Sanders, give them both playing time, satisfy both factions of players, and keep a defense on their toes for different styles of play styles? Rose, thank you so much for the question. I do think it is imperative that we see both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders play for the Cleveland Browns this season. You drafted both of them. You need to find out if one of them can be the guy before next year and the year after that, because it does not serve you to have multiple roster spots being taken up by rookie quarterbacks. Flacco's out of the picture now. Pickett's been out of the picture. Shedeur and Gabriel, let's cycle them through. I do also think it'd be really interesting if we had some plays designed for Shedeur to come in. You know, he is the bigger quarterback. If you're going to run a QB sneak or something along those lines, you would bring in Shedeur. You would maybe want him to do some PA rollout plays, some option plays. So, yeah, get some packages designed because they're different styles of quarterbacks, different ways to get them involved in the game and evaluate. I like that take, Rose. Moving on to Hunter Smith. Is Watson really set to return in the coming weeks? If so, do you think he's the immediate starter when he returns? Good question, Hunter. This is a hot topic right now for Cleveland Browns fans. So, Watson, from what we know, is progressing well. Stefanski said his rehab is actually going excellent. Watson is posting videos on his story of him working out, running, and throwing. He wants to play, I'll tell you that. But would the Browns really do it? Remember, our owner, Jimmy Haslam, came out and said trading for Deshaun Watson was a big swing and a miss. So our owners already said that about the guy on our roster. Last year, he was consistently the starter, even when he sucked, when he was awful. Cleveland Browns fans were screaming for him to be benched. They even, a little bit disrespectfully, cheered when he got hurt. It was a season-ending injury. You know, you just never want to see that, but Browns fans were so fed up with his play. Their actions showed that he would be the starter despite how bad he was because of how much money he's guaranteed. But no, I don't think he's immediately the starter when he returns, when he's healthy. I think Shedeur is clearly next in line to Gabriel. If those two haven't played yet, it would make no sense to put Deshaun Watson right back in there, in my opinion. So that's what I got for you, Hunter Smith. Now we have Browns Dawg Pound 6'7". Am I the only one who thinks Dillon Gabriel did like nothing in his debut? Wow, interesting take here from Browns Dawg Pound. I mean, there was nothing that made you jump out of your seat. There was nothing flashy. There was nothing special. His deep throws were either non-existent or inaccurate. His short throws, well, they were fine. He was clean. He was good. He didn't turn the ball over. But the game plan was so conservative that it's hard to see what he actually did. Averaged 5.5 air yards per attempt. If that were the case over an entire season, it would be second lowest among all qualifying passers. So 2 touchdowns were good. One of them obviously came from the 1-yard line. No picks. That's totally fine. It was clean. But there wasn't much to go off of. You know, a lot of people are acting like it was a really good performance. We didn't see enough, I feel like. It's not enough to say, wow, that was really good. No, we didn't see much. There was not enough game planned for him. So whether that's his fault or not, you know, Stefanski calls the plays. But clearly, there was no indication of, hey, this guy's a star. It was just simple. And I will give him credit because, you know, I imagine they played it very safe because of the circumstances, right? It's his first start ever in the NFL. He's overseas, loud environment, weird kind of situation. You know, he's never really going to play in London again for the rest of the season. They also faced a really good defensive coordinator in Brian Flores, who leads the Vikings defense, does a good job there, does a good job against rookie quarterbacks specifically. So I imagine that's why Stefanski called this so conservatively. But that means at face value, we watched such a conservative game-managing game, and we didn't see much past 10 yards. So there's not enough to go off of. I agree. It felt like there really wasn't much. It was just clean, safe, fine. Let's see more. I want to see what else Dillon Gabriel has for us in the coming weeks. But be the professor. How would you grade Dillon Gabriel's first NFL start? You know the grading scale, A, B, C, D, or F. What grade do you give Dillon Gabriel for his NFL debut? Comment that in the comment section below. And now a word from our friends over at Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. And honestly, I'm just so ready because football is back on Sundays. Big game coming up for the Browns against the Steelers. All is right in the world when you got AFC North football going on. And I'm big into daily fantasy with Prize Picks. I'm obsessed with it because it makes all the games more entertaining. And before the Browns play, I lock in on all my players in my lineup and their player projections. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. All of my picks are going to hit this week, though. Bryce Young, more than half a passing touchdown against a bad Dallas defense. I love it for the young quarterback. Quinshon Judkins, our beast, more on a 16.5-yard rush to be his longest. He's got a big pop every single game. He'll get one that's more than 16.5 yards. Josh Jacobs, more than half a touchdown rushing or receiving. We know that Bengals defense is bad, and the Packers probably going to have the lead, run the ball more. Jacobs, touchdown. I'm going to make money. You can too. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Next question coming in from Treg Mayer. Hashtag Browns, are we going after a third corner? Good question from Treg Mayer. I think we should. You know, Dom Jones has now been signed to the active roster for Cleveland. Little news update for you. And they waived Cameron Mitchell, which was the right decision. He was awful at that CB3 slot, and the nickel has been an issue for the Browns. It seems like this year they're rolling with Miles Harden and Dom Jones, Treg. Our 1 and 2 are clear, but there has been some uncertainty at that CB3 position. I would love to bring in another one, but right now the Browns are saying Dom Jones is going to be the guy as well as Miles Harden. Next year, a little bit different. Newsome and Martin Emerson on contract years. Cleveland's going to have to pay one of or both of them. If we had all three, it would look pretty great, but we don't have Emerson at all this year. Cleveland Buckeye. Joey, who did we get for Flacco, and is our offense better than the Raiders? Hashtag Browns. Well, the fact that we got anything for Flacco was a win for us, Cleveland Buckeye. We were able to do a late pick swap, give the Cincinnati Bengals a 6th-round pick, and Cleveland got a 5th-round pick back for Joe Flacco. I mean, nobody else in the league was going to pay for Joe Flacco. This situation fell into the Browns' lap. Stefanski said that the Bengals called Cleveland to ask about Joe Flacco. So we were like, yeah, sure. We'll take a 5th-round pick for a guy that is no plans in our future and we're not even going to need for the rest of the season. So W trade for the Browns. That's who we got for Flacco. And yes, our offense is better than the Raiders. I'll have to go tell our Raiders host here about this question. The Raiders last week, what did they put up? 6 points, I believe, against the Colts? I mean, people don't realize how bad the Raiders are this year. It's awful over there. So I would say, yeah, we're even slightly better than them. Their offensive line is terrible, too. You know, we're in some similar situations with stagnant offenses, but theirs looked even worse than ours. So, and Geno Smith is even more of a turnover machine than Flacco was. So, yeah, we got a better offense than the Raiders. We can at least take the small victories where we get them. Jeep Wolf, Browns report by Chat Sports. That is the channel. Will the Browns ever be able to score 20 points at any point this season? Gosh, I hope so, Jeep Wolf. I imagine this is more not a genuine question, or maybe it actually is because we haven't seen it. I think at least one game we will, Jeep Wolf. Don't worry. You know, someone last week said Browns would only score 20 if Shedeur is the starter. I think he'd give us a better chance to have more explosive plays and put up some more offense because he's going to take those shots, right? Some games that might not look as great. Other games, he's going to connect, and he's going to be the hero, which is what the Browns offense needs right now. Someone who's willing to take those risks and carry us because they need saving over there for the Browns offense. Yes, they will eventually, but I'm pissed off that they haven't yet. Richard Smith. Could Quinshon Judkins win Offensive Rookie of the Year? That would be awesome. He looks like an absolute beast. He looks better than Ashton Genty right now. Just numbers-wise, Genty, we're talking about the Raiders offense on today's show, but they have got an awful offensive line, and Genty hasn't been able to produce as much behind it. Judkins has produced behind our offensive line, and he's averaging nearly 5 yards a carry. Certainly will be in that conversation by the end of the year. I think that Bucs receiver too, Egbuka's having a really hot season. But Judkins should be absolutely up there. Love what I'm seeing. Love how he's producing from the Ohio State University, staying in Cleveland for a long time to come. Number 10. Moving on to Christopher Stofira. Has QB order been announced? Unofficial depth chart came out. Dillon Gabriel, the starter. Shedeur Sanders, the backup. By this point, if you're watching this on Saturday, it's probably been announced. But the update we have earlier in the week as we filmed this on a Wednesday, Stefanski said that he's still going to work through things later in this week and did not commit to naming Shedeur Sanders the backup quarterback. It's a very real possibility that they elevate Bailey Zappi from the practice squad and name him the backup quarterback on Sunday against the Steelers. So the order is not official at the time that we filmed this, but unofficially, Shedeur was second on the depth chart. And like I said, Zappi's there on the P squad to either be signed to the active roster or elevated if they don't think Shedeur's ready to be thrown into the fire should something happen to Gabriel early in the Steelers game. That's where it stands, the Browns quarterback situation. Moving on to our next question here from LeBron James. He watches the show. That's awesome. Can the Browns get another wide receiver? LeBron, you probably already know who we're getting. LeBron predicts everything, folks. I would love them to get one. You know who's an interesting name that I haven't seen people link to Cleveland yet? Treylon Burks. He's a first-round pick playing for the Titans. He's cleared to be signed by any team in the league right now as a free agent. Healed, ready to go. Let's get him. We need a wide receiver. Judy hasn't looked like himself. He hasn't looked nearly as good as he was last year. He's essentially been a non-factor, and he's been hurting us by dropping balls. And that's our number one. Cedric Tillman's on IR. Isaiah Bond, he's looking pretty good. He's earned that wide receiver 2 role. Jamari Thrash's been a non-factor for us, though, too. So I would love us to get a wide receiver. It's a position of need. Let's make a move. Chris Olave maybe could be available for Cleveland. Pop Douglas in New England. But how about Treylon Burks? I would sign him. We'll keep you updated if the Browns do. Next up, we got a question from Big Browns. What do you think? Who do you think won the trade between the Browns and the Bengals? Well, this is a good question. I don't think we've talked about who actually won it so far on this show. So we showed you the details, right? Late pick swap. Bengals get Joe Flacco. Cleveland gets a 5th. I actually think it's really good for both teams because the Bengals desperately needed a quarterback. Jake Browning might be the worst quarterback I've watched play football this year. Just the eye test, he looks terrible. And he threw 3 picks last game. They needed someone, anyone. So much so that you know it's bad when they were literally calling up the Cleveland Browns about Joe Flacco, who just got benched for Dillon Gabriel. So they were in such desperate need that I think Flacco will actually be better for them than Jake Browning. And, this is why it's dangerous. Don't trade with the division. But I think it's good for both teams. And I'd give Cleveland the W because otherwise you're letting Flacco take up a roster spot, sit there, do nothing for your team, and then not resign next year. Or you literally are forced to cut him and get nothing. Because no one else was going to pay anything for Joe Flacco. That's just a win for the Browns that you get a 5th-round pick. And given the draft class that Andrew Berry had last year, who knows what that 5th-round pick could turn into for the Browns next year. We have a few positions of needs. Let's go after them. Cleveland gets the dub, in my opinion. But what do you think in the comment section? Who won the Flacco trade? The AFC North trade. Type CLE if you think the Browns won the trade. Type CIN if you think the Bengals won the trade. Curious to know what the Browns fans think about who won this deal. Folks, thank you so much for sticking with us here on the Browns Report. If you got more questions that you want me to answer and put on the show, you can head over to @Joey070. Tweet there. I'll maybe pull some Twitter questions as well if I get some juicy ones. So go over there, follow me, drop a question, and we'll try to get you on. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Browns Report. We appreciate all of you that watch and are subscribed. If you're not, subscribe and join the party, and we'll see you very shortly here on the Browns Report. Fun stuff, Producer Reed. Fun stuff. Good questions, you guys. I like that segment. Good times, good times. Time Man still rocking with us.
Time Man's always here.
Time Man.
Time Man. Woohoo.
Woof, woof.
Woof, woof.
Time Man. Folks, thank you so much for joining us here. It's Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
It was a good time. You have a good time, Reed? Good, me too. Me too. Keep typing your answers, folks. We're ready to wrap up here. I'm going to post a video right now. So do me a favor. Be the first one to comment on that video that I'm about to put out. I'm going to do it right when we get off live here. I'm going to go ahead and publish a video. Type first, be the first one to comment on it. And that way I'll know you came from the live and that you're a real one. Go ahead, do that as I post this video. We really do appreciate all of you guys. Hit that subscribe button to be a part of these every single week. We love to get your guys' opinions and voices heard on the show and give you an exclusive look at the content that we put out. So thank you guys so much for being a part of the stream, being a part of the Browns Report family. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will see you guys next time, next week for another live, and this Sunday for the big watch party against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Peace out.